So this is Committee on Culture and Education 2. So far there has been no textual change, so we will continue immediately to reading the resolution. Whom from the committee may I invite to read the resolution? Greece, please. Quiet, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on Culture and Education presents this resolution on the question of encouraging and promoting voluntary participation in cultural projects and movements. The Model European Parliament calls upon the strength of the media to inform the people of the advantages and possibilities of voluntary work. 2. Further recommends to make websites of voluntary organizations more accurate and accessible. 3. Urges that local authorities be in control of informing schools through creating seminars to inform teachers and to qualify them to share the information with students, school excursions to local voluntary projects and organizations, and visits by current volunteers to schools to inform pupils. 4. Recommends employers to encourage their employees to do voluntary activities by rewarding them with free tickets for cultural events, showing interest and participating in volunteering, providing flexible working schedules for volunteers. 5. Encourages the participation of famous personalities and companies in promoting the positive perception of voluntary work. 6. Strongly recommends giving companies publicity as a reward for supporting voluntary activities. 7. Requests that voluntary work on a CV should improve the employability and be recognized as experience that might enhance employees' qualities. 8. Urges that the activities of the European Volunteer Centre, CEV, are broadcast. 9. Further proclaims the monitoring and controlling of local, national and international organizations within the EU by CEV. 10. Expresses its appreciation of the Bologna process and demands the inclusion of voluntary activities in this credit system. 11. Instructs the President to forward the resolution to the European Parliament, the European Commission and the Council of Ministers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Whom from the committee may I invite to deliver a speech in favor of the resolution? Finland, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, fellow delegates. The whole week has been an experience for me and for the entire group. We have been working really hard and finally come up with a really good resolution. Volunteer work is really important, and thereby promoting volunteer work is important. It's of great importance that people in the modern Europe do volunteer work to help those in need. The upcoming generation is the future of this world, and they should be informed of the importance of volunteer work to create an even better society. Don Corleone once said, "I will make an offer you can't refuse." Well, I have an offer to make, our resolution. It's a resolution that you can't refuse. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. We'll make sure we won't refuse it. We will now move on with factual questions. And I will need time with this, please. Okay, 35, Luxembourg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sorry. I have a question for OC number 10. What is the credit system?
Portugal, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, with the Bologna process, the credit system consists in the career to pass, you must have, for example, 80 credits, and you can get it doing different activities. For example, a percent of them do get with sports, another percent with projects about the career, and that's all. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. UK 9.
Thank you, Mr. President. Regarding OC number 4, it says, recommends employers to encourage their employees to do volunteer activities by showing interest and participating in volunteering. Do you mean the employers participating in volunteering or the employees participating in volunteering?
Austria, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. We think that the employers should participate in voluntary activities in order to be a good role model for their employees. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Denmark 92.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is regarding ICF. Can you maybe give an example of an organization which lacks transparency? Thank you.
Can you please rephrase the question?
Thank you, Mr. President. In ICF, you talked about the lack of transparency. Can you maybe give an example of an organization which lacks transparency?
Italy, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, the biggest problems in voluntary works is that there's no transparency when, for example, I talk about money. When people give money to a voluntary organization, there's no transparency because people who give money don't really know if they will be received by the others. And there's a really lack of legislation on that about, and we want that to be more transparent because we really want people to trust in voluntary. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. France 88.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question regards clause 2. Can you precise what you mean by making the voluntary organization's website more accessible? Thank you.
Belgium, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. To make the websites more accessible is like when you enter the website, for example, you can choose first your country, then your region, and then the category in which you want to do voluntary work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Italy 78.
It's actually the Cypriot delegate now. According to clause 8, it says that the European Volunteer Center activities should be broadcasted. How will these activities be broadcasted through national broadcasting unions or through private TV channels? Okay, my question is how will the activities of the European Volunteer Center be broadcasted through national broadcasting unions or through private TV channels?
Austria, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. We want to use every kind of media to broadcast the CEV and to let people know what they do. So, internet, TV, radio, everything.
Thank you very much. Belgium 115.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can you explain me what you mean with local authorities in OC3, please?
Local authorities. Greece from the committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. With local authorities, we mean that certain countries have regions that also have a little government, actually, and that are the local authorities.
Thank you very much. Former Yugoslavic Republic of Macedonia, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. In operative clause 4, bullet point C, you claim that you want to provide flexible working schedules for volunteers. Now, how would this mean that their volunteering schedule would be adapted to their working schedule? Could you please clarify, because to me it seems a bit unclear. Thank you.
Latvia, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. What we mean here is that if somebody wants to do volunteer work on Friday evening, but they have to work that day, then the employer would provide a possibility to take the evening off. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Estonia, 74.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is about OC number 9. And what do you mean by controlling the organizations, and what are the differences between monitoring and controlling? Thank you.
Portugal, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As we said before, that we want to have reliable organizations. What we have with this is to control and to know what are they doing. So the national organization will be controlled by an international. So if they are doing something that it's wrong, the international will know and will stop doing that. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Sweden, 6.
Thank you, Mr. President. Regarding OC number 6, in what way will the companies get publicity?
Sweden from the committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're going to give publicity throughout the media. Thank you.
Slovenia, 3.
Thank you, Mr. President. I got a question referring to OC number 6. Should there be invented some kind of criteria? How did companies support the volunteering? Thank you.
Belgium, can you please answer?
Thank you, Mr. President. I think it wouldn't matter because they can support by giving money to the volunteer centers, but they can also support by showing interest and participation within the volunteering center. Thank you.
Thank you. Hungary, 113.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question about OC3. What kind of qualifier the teachers need?
Can you please rephrase the question? Repeat it once again.
Okay, so in connection with the OC3A, and what kind of qualifier the teachers need?
Finland from the committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. They need to be qualified by that they know about volunteer work. That's the only qualification. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have 3 more factual questions. Bulgaria, 107.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to ask you on OC number 6. You said you will give companies publicity through the media, but are you suggesting the European Union should dictate what and how the media reports the news?
Latvia, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. What we mean here is that media isn't only news. It's also radio, it's websites, it's bullet boards, and what we mean here is that the name of the company would be mentioned in the advertisements of the voluntary work, of the concrete volunteer work, and also in the webpage of the organization or the project. Thank you.
Thank you. 32 Cyprus.
Thank you, Mr. President. Since people are already busy enough doing their current jobs, why do you think they would want to volunteer if the activities limit their free time to the minimum and gives no time to focus on their family and hobbies?
Portugal, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. With flexible working schedules, they will be able to do volunteer activities and after that be with the family. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. The last question, Slovak Republic 38.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to ask, could you specify what kind of work you're actually talking about? Because I don't think that all jobs could be done by voluntary work. Thank you.
Slovenia from the committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're talking about work which is good for the society and is without being paid for it. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move with the amendment. Who from the GA wishes to make an amendment or has already made an amendment, please raise a... Are they an amendment? What about the others? Okay, so we already have one amendment. Excuse me. I'm sorry. The Maltese delegate, can you please step up and deliver a speech regarding clause number 4AC? He proposes to delete the entire clause.
Thank you, Presidency. Firstly, I would like to congratulate with the committee in exam for the operative clause number 4. It's a splendid idea to include the employers in the sensibilization process for volunteering activities. Anyway, while the introduction and the subclause B are quite perfect, I don't agree with subclause A and C, and I have proposed to delete them in order to make the resolution more serious. In fact, I think that providing free tickets for cultural events shouldn't be duty of the employers, but of an appropriate public institution. About subclause C, instead, I searched and found the definition of volunteer as stated by the Volunteer European Service, which quotes, "A person who works for an organization for personal gratification without being paid." A person who is actually going to do volunteering activities would do it in her or his free time as personal choice, even with rigid working schedules. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Whom from the committee may I invite to deliver a speech against this amendment? Belgium, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Fellow delegates, committee presidents, and dear Presidency. First of all, the A is to reward the volunteers for the job they've done for the government, to encourage other people to do the same. Rewarding them with free tickets for cultural events is a way that can encourage people to do more. You can pay volunteer workers. The maximum budget you can be paid when you do voluntary work is 800 euros a month. But it's still voluntary work because when you get paid, it's not like it's the same amount as a job. When you work the whole month, the same hours, you would get more money out of it than doing voluntary work and get the rewards by cultural tickets. Then, C, a lot of people don't do voluntary work because they can't combine it with their work. They have to offer their spare time in the weekend and after their work to use it to do voluntary work, which is the time you want to have for yourself, because you can't support other people when you're not physically strong and mentally strong. So yeah, you have to have mental support, so you have to have the spare time And with the providing flexible working schedule, you can combine it with your work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now take a vote. As you know, no abstaining. The vote begins now. You should write that. May I have your attention, please? With 57 votes in favor, 73 votes against, with the approval of the committee candidate countries, with the approval of candidate countries, this amendment has been rejected. We will now move on with the open debate. UK 20. Quiet, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I feel by the introduction of Clause 4A, as the Maltese delegate has already stated, you are eroding the very principles on which volunteer work is based. You are, in fact, you are providing employment. It is glorified bribery. Thank you, Mr. President.
Belgium, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I said, it's in the law that you can pay volunteers as a reward for the job that they're doing. It's not payment, it's not employment. It's just to encourage them to keep doing it. And the maximum budget is 800 euros a month. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Czech Republic, 109.
Thank you, Mr. President. In OC, you recommend employers to encourage their employees. So in OC6, you say that you give them advertisements when they do that. But who is going to pay for these advertisements?
Greece, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. That will be the European Union who pays for these advertisements. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Finland, 95.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a question concerning OC6. If, for example, Marlboro or Absolute Vodka decided to support voluntary work, would you recommend that they be given publicity? Thank you.
Can you please rephrase the question?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. President. If a tobacco or alcohol company supported voluntary work, would you recommend they be given publicity?
Austria, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think that it was not our issue to discuss whether advertisements by what you said, tobacco, alcohol companies should be, well, banned or something. So yeah, of course we give them publicity too. That was not our topic.
Thank you very much. Estonia, 65.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I would like to draw your attention to OC number 4. And isn't the point of voluntary work not to get any payment for it or any rewards for it? And also you defined volunteering as good for the society, but no rewards. But free tickets are a kind of rewards, and companies still have to get the free tickets somehow. So.
Slovenia, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're not going to pay them with money because rewards and extra benefits are not money. We're just trying to give them some benefits in order to encourage them to do more voluntary work. It's not a payment. It's just gift, yeah, encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Cyprus 70.
I'm from Italy. Thank you, Mr. President. Regarding the OC number 6, I would like to bring to the attention of the Assembly the fact that publicity is a totally subjective source of income, making advertising not attractive for companies since it's an uncertain result in terms of income. And so, why don't you think tax reduction is better in order to make volunteer work more attractive for companies?
Belgium from the committee, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tax reduction would it would encourage the companies to just do it for the taxation. If they get the publishment, they would get a good image for the world, so they get good publicity, so they were considered as a good company who has good activities. Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
More or less. I think tax reduction is better because the publicity is too much subjective. So that was my point.
Thank you very much. Turkey, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. My question is regarding OC number 7. How can you say that voluntary work will improve the employability while there are different sectors and companies in different countries having their own priority of choosing employees? Do you have any solid research or document showing this? Thank you.
Thank you. Latvia, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. What we meant was that doing voluntary work improves your experience, which means you might have done something that you need to do in your future job, but you haven't got any pay for it because you were volunteering. So we want that that experience would count as experience what the employers would accept. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Austria 101. Please wait until the microphone turns on.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to ask you if there is a reason why you are only talking about informing schools and pupils and do not mention cooperation with schools, such as projects in order to involve pupils in volunteering.
Austria, you may answer.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. That might sound a bit weird, but volunteering is still voluntarily, so we can just inform the students. What they do then is, their choice. We can't tell them, okay, you have to do a project of voluntary work, because that would not be the sense, Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does that answer your question? Thank you. Portugal 25.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to say that in the OC number 7, you say that the voluntary work it's going to give such a similar preference at the hiring of the architects, for example. In some careers and in some jobs, the voluntary work is not something necessary. For example, an architect is not going to earn such experience related to his future career doing this kind of works. And I mean, it's such a kind of discrimination doing this. For example, for a doctor, it's a good point, but for other ones, it's not a good point.
Portugal from the committee, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. We think that it's good because there are a lot of volunteer activities, so maybe it's not very relation with that career, but maybe it has something that is, and we cannot do it for all career. Maybe some of them it's not benefited, but we can do anything. I mean, maybe there's a new volunteer activity that is for architects. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. 97, France.
Thank you, Mr. President. Considering the fact that that specific kind of work, that is voluntary work, derives from the usual definition we give to work, what have you anticipated for the retirement system, which is normally financed by a certain amount of years of paid work?
Austria, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. We also talked about a certificate for volunteering. So later, when you get your retirement, that is going to be included. We just didn't mention it, and I'm sorry for it. Thank you.
Former Yugoslavic Republic of Macedonia.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would again like to go back to the operative clause 4, bullet point A, the rewarding of free tickets. The sheer principles of volunteering go against your proposal of awarding tickets. Could you please clarify why would you deem this as volunteering when you're giving direct award to a volunteer? And that is, everything besides the experience is forbidden to be a reward for volunteering. Thank you.
Romania, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. The reward is just to thank the volunteers. It's not payment. I just want to make it clear. We are just giving them some more reasons to do volunteer work. We're not paying them. So, is it clear now?
You may say something.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't think you understand what my argument is. Anything besides the experience makes a volunteer not a volunteer if you give them a reward. So they're basically just workers now.
Belgium, you may add a point.
Thank you, Mr. President. I don't think you've listened to the previous arguments I've given. Today, you get paid for volunteer work, but when you're going to do a job, it pays more. So it's still voluntary because you haven't got more profit out of volunteer work. You can be paid 800 euros a month. I've checked it, really. Thank you.
Thank you. 81, Denmark. Please wait until the microphone's on.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, I have a question regarding clause number 7, OC number 7. I think that, first of all, I think it is already taken into account when somebody, when employers choose who their employees has to be. But I think that you forget that when a person knows that they will be rewarded from doing volunteer work, then the quality of the work may fall. And because when you do volunteering, you have to do it wholehearted. And I think that if you know that you will get gifts, as you said, I think that the quality of the volunteering work will just be much less worth.
Czech Republic, from the committee, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. The rewards we give to people who do voluntary work isn't balanced with the work they do. So if you really want to do it for the money, then just choose normal work. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have 3 more questions. Sweden 8.
Yeah, I'm on, right? Thank you, Mr. President. Referring to OC 6 and 8, who would pay for this free publicity?
Hungary from the committee, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. This question has already been asked, and the European Union will pay for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Czech Republic 119. Please wait until the microphone turns on. $119.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, now it's working. Well, in OC5, you talk about famous personalities. Well, there are organizations with famous personalities as president at the moment. These people are often widely rewarded for this. We are talking about several 10,000s of euros each year. Shouldn't we do something about this? Because it's still the citizens' money. And how can the EU react to organizations like this when they are operative in Europe but with the headquarters outside of the EU?
Slovenia, you may answer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, we think that it would be good promotion for famous people to participate in the voluntary activities. So their participation would be also voluntary. We weren't talking about paying them for it. Thank you.
Thank you. One more question before we move to the speeches. Malta 46.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President and fellow delegates. As regards OC number 4.c, in my opinion, the volunteering can't mean lacking in the primary work. As I concern, flexible schedules can be accepted only if a voluntary work is included in a voluntary program recognized by the employers in which activities are monitored. This can be an opportunity to employees to share experiences together in the field of voluntary work. In this case, I see voluntary work as an alternative service provided by the enterprise, which, of course, an employee can join or not. Can you agree with my opinion that it is my interpretation of the OC number 4.c?
Austria.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am not sure if I understood your question. I'm just going to try to answer it. We want to provide flexible working schedules for, okay, imagine you are a worker, you work 40 hours a week, okay? You have to find time for yourself, for your family, for your own life. It's hard to do voluntary work, you know, combining it with a full-time job. So the point of those flexible working schedules is just that you find time and that you can combine all of this. I don't know, was that your question?
Does that answer your question?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. President and committee. I mean, what if I join a voluntary work that is not well organized and so there is no regularity in activities and so I'm not monitored and it is not integrated in my work schedule?
Hungary.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's why we created the certificates to prove that the voluntary work you're doing are regular and that it's worth providing flexible working schedules. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now move on with a speech against this resolution. Whom from the GA may I invite to deliver a speech against this resolution? Please press the button. Quiet, please. (13) Spain.
Thank you, Mr. President. Dear delegates, you may be surprised that I'm here in front of you speaking against this resolution about volunteering, but please let me explain. I really believe that volunteering is a really important issue, and we have to treat it seriously and in a realistic way. That's why I would like to say congratulations to the Committee of Culture and Education too, as they've achieved one of their goals, promoting volunteering. But on the other hand, they've done something I'm not really sure they really wanted to. They've destroyed the real spirit of volunteering. They've turned it into a commercial product, with famous people advertising it. People who really want to be volunteers do not need other people to tell them what to do. They will just do it because of their own convictions. Therefore, what we need is people that act in favor of society because of their well-being that helping the others gives to them, not because of the social considerations that volunteering may have. Moreover, we must be realistic and prioritize our needs. With the current level of unemployment in Europe, our intention has to be to give people a job rather than making them work for free. I believe that effort must be paid, and it's the only way to achieve the well-being of unemployed families. As well, they've introduced volunteering programs in Bologna process, rewarding them with credits. And again, they're degenerating the real spirit of volunteering. We are looking for altruism. Volunteering must be implemented in our society, but with the only objective of social well-being and the participation of altruist people. Later on, we can consider that volunteering will grant people to get a job. And also, during the most part of your resolution, you focus on people who already are working. And even though they're provided with flexible working schedules, they will prefer to spend time with their families, as in the end, the amount of hours they will work will be the same. So, to conclude with my speech, I ask you, dear delegates, for your vote against, but not for your vote against volunteering and their action in our society. I ask you for your vote against the ineffective and the inefficient measures of this resolution. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Whom from the committee may I invite to deliver a speech in favor of the resolution? Austria, please. Quiet. Quiet, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Excellencies, Honorable Presidency, fellow delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." That is exactly what volunteering is all about. Simply because helping someone else is one of the most fulfilling things that you can do for yourself. Our task for this week was to find ways to encourage and promote voluntary work. But the problem that our committee had to face was the lack of awareness regarding the advantages and possibilities of volunteering. To be honest, no one in our committee knew that 2011 was the European Year of Volunteering before we started preparing for this MEP session, and I'm sure that plenty of you did not know either. Therefore, the media plays an important role when trying to draw attention to volunteerism. Moreover, we thought about the influence that famous personalities and companies have, since they are often seen as role models and tried to be imitated. For that reason, we encourage their participation in promoting the positive perception of voluntary work. And to react to the speech against, we are all humans, and humans need motivation. Motivation can come through many things, and in this case, we just think that taking role models is a good way to encourage people to do the same thing. And regarding the rewards are already very common among volunteer work. It is not a payment, it is just a motivation. Another point that we were discussing was the question how to combine a full-time job with voluntary activities. You will all agree with us that working 40 hours a week, finding time for your family and yourself and doing voluntary work is practically impossible. So motivating employees by, for example, rewarding them with little treats or providing flexible working hours seems to be an excellent way to encourage them. These are only some points of our resolution. We did our best in order to create an atmosphere of European social cohesion regarding volunteerism. Therefore, I kindly ask the Assembly to vote in favour of our resolution. Taking advantage of this occasion, I'd like to encourage every single person in this room to get involved in voluntary activities and to experience what it means to be giving instead of taking. Volunteer and make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now take a vote. Quiet, please. May I have your attention, please? With 57 votes in favor, 67 votes against, 8 abstentions, with the disapproval of the committee meetings, with the disapproval of candidate countries, this resolution has been rejected. Thank you very much.